Number three, we have to deal with this issue as a matter of county importance. Just pass through the Jabini Dodori Road or through now here to Orokarau. Starting from Magumu, it's a big shame. Coming to Mwedandu, heaps of garbage. Come to my hometown, Kwa Haraka, it is messy. Come to Jabini, all through to the very last word, that is Daragwa Central, Madam Speaker. We need to deal with the issue as a matter of county importance. Number three, I want to recommend, number four, sorry, I want to recommend member for North Kinangop, because informally we had a discussion, and he has initiated an alternative way of dealing with waste. And that is what, Madam Speaker, should be embraced. I do agree that the issue of waste management should be a conservation activity, rather than where it was premised under the Department of Health as a preventative care function, Madam Speaker. It is well placed. The issue of solid waste management, bearing in mind even the issue of liquid solid management, is premised at the Department on Water, Madam Speaker. I think it should be a conservation activity, Madam Speaker. Lastly, Madam Speaker.
Information to Honorable Catherine.
Yes, coming from Honorable Catherine is very much welcome.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, naomba mjumbe kutoka Nyakeo aweze kufafanua mambo ambayo yamefanyika huko North Kinangop ya kuzoa taka, kwa sababu yale najua ni kwamba ardhi ambayo iko North Kinangop imejaa taka na hawana mahali ingine ya kupeleka. Labda aweze kueleza ni mambo gani haya yamefanyiwa kwa hiyo ardhi, juu nimetembea huko juzi na imejaa.
Mheshimiwa, umemsikia vizuri.
Mheshimiwa Madam Speaker, let me proceed with English. Madam Speaker, I think it is not fair to respond to issues concerning North Kinangop. And I indicated very clearly that informally we had a discussion with Mheshimiwa, whom was requesting for an equal opportunity to have the floor, and I was given preference. So, with a lot of respect, Mheshimiwa, I think the member for North Kinangop will be in a position to respond to all the raised concerns. Lastly, Madam Speaker, as it was indicated by member for Gadara, and we had a very tough discussion in our group regarding some of these issues, that before we pass some of these issues, we have even to ask ourselves the other fundamental question: what can go wrong? And that is what we are doing now. Yes, there was a proposal, we established a fund, and yes, then the fund is established. Then what can go wrong? And that is why now each and every motion, each and every statement will be scrutinized with a toothpick. And it will not for any other reason, but for the purposes of objectivity. Remember, we had a motion in the floor of this House that was brought by a member for Githafai, my good neighbor, Honorable Engineer Mui Kayani, pertaining the sex semen. And the thinking was, yes, this is a purely an agricultural function in the animal production section, Madam Speaker. But then, when you come to implementation, we're having issues. But now, even the subsidized AI, it is working now through the cooperatives. But when there was a proposal that the issue of sex semen, whereby Nyakeo was the only ward that then allocated the money 1 million for the same, has never been implemented. But when we come to the subsidized AI, I can attest that all operations are being done. Operations at Nyakeo are being done at South Kinangop, or cooperative society. Our oversight role, Madam Speaker, should be tightened, and it should not now be as business as usual. And that is why I do support Honorable Miruka that this activity and the function be transferred to the Department on Water, so that we can be able to deal with the issue conclusively. Lastly, the issue to do with the public-private partnership. If the department is not in a position, first of all, to deal with the menace, we can first of all think about quick fixes. Even if it is contracting. I know one member, and that happens to be member for Weru. When it happened that at Kasuku town, there was a very big outcry. He was able to engage trucks, and within a day, the heaps of garbage that was there, at least he was able to clear that menace. But now the big issue is that was just a quick fix. And that is why now we are trying to see, and I would request the mover, we try and see how best we can incorporate the issue of public-private partnership together, equally with the machineries we are having. It does not mean that the trucks that we are having can only do roads. It does not mean that the plants that we are having, like the excavators and the other, can only do roads. They can do dams, and they can do a number of activities, Madam Speaker. By so doing, we will be in a position to serve our people and serve our people right, and make sure that this mess is sorted once for all. And with that, Madam Speaker, I do support.
Thank you, Honorable Njero, for your insights. Honorable Ednat Kingori.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to contribute on this motion that has been moved by a neighbor member from Kereita. And before I proceed on, allow me to congratulate you as my vice chair in the Public Service and Administration Devolution Committee, and also my mentor in terms of law. Allow me to congratulate you that now you are subjected to the bar in High Court, and rest assured that I'll be the first person to come to your office for further advice related to legal matter.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I wish you well. I'm hoping that you are doing well in your campaigns for 2027. 2027 is not far, Madam Speaker, for that position of a woman rep. We are wishing you well, and hopefully you pass the exams in between. Honorable Speaker, I am one person who been very vocal in relation to the solid waste management. And to my understanding is that solid
Honorable
waste...
Denji, kindly consult in law terms.
Solid waste management should not be a way that should be managed in a way that the government is popping money, public money, so that we manage. To me, it should be the vice versa, that it should be a profit-generating exercise. Honorable Speaker, nataka kujibu a member for Kereita, Honorable Kate, ya kwamba katika Donyojero tumejaribu.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
What is your point of order, Honorable Catherine?
I think the standing order is very clear that if the member starts in Swahili, then he must finish in the same language. However, he started in English, and because this is not a quotation, I believe he should address the issue in English, which I have a major.
You know, Honorable Catherine, I think it's the challenge that you're posing on the honorable members, trying to match up with your good Swahili. Proceed, Honorable Ednard.
Honorable Speaker, and very soon, Honorable Speaker will come up with a motion to this Honorable House that since the two languages, Kiswahili and English, is captured in our Constitution and it is a parliamentary language, that a member can rise on motion when debating on the floor of the House, and he can change either in English or Kiswahili very soon. But since now the standing order cannot allow, I'll proceed on in English. I want to respond to the member for Kereita in relation to the management issue of Donyojeru. And Honorable Speaker, is that we have tried. We have piloted. There was the time we were being taken by the Department of Trade to Egerton University. With me, Honorable Speaker, we had Honorable Mirka and Honorable Zachary and other members. And Honorable Speaker, solid waste management can be changed in a way that now become a profit-making generation. To us, this is something that can be raised in this county. Honorable Speaker, I happened to go to Israel. The liquid waste of the major towns like Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, is the one that bring on board the high production of the horticulture, more particularly on issue pertaining to mango, avocado, orange. They are the leading in production in the world, Honorable Speaker, among the leading countries. And it's the way that they have the policies in relation to that. The liquid waste is not just a liquid waste. You see in a desert, Honorable Speaker, plant which is very prolifically green, producing high production of the fruits by the virtue of the way the solid waste is being managed in that country. That is something that can happen in this country, more particularly in Nyandarua. Honorable Speaker, we are not on the right, on the bad side so far. That in Nyandarua, we don't have many industries. It's not like Mombasa or Nairobi, or rather like Kiambu, parts of Thika sub-county, and the Kiambu sub-county, the Muru area, where we have more of industries. If we can be able to have well-managed, rather, Honorable Speaker, if we can be able to have good policies related to solid waste management in this county. Money in relation to that. But when it comes to the implementation, that's how the problem is. We have tried as much. Like now, I have 4.5 million in relation to that, but no one is ready to implement. I'm not fighting the government, Honorable Speaker. I'm not. But I'm trying to say that there is laxity in relation to the issue pertaining to the implementation. There is something that Honorable Zachary has cited out about the political goodwill. Without good political goodwill, nothing much can be done. There are many prayers, Honorable Speaker, that are supposed to be there on issue pertaining to the solid waste management. And one of them is the government entity. What do you expect from the government side? One is to ensure that we have good policies that are that is approved by this Honorable House, so that we be able to be compliant with environmental laws, Honorable Speaker. And also, what we expect from the side of the government, it is what Honorable Mirka has raised as a motion, and we are ready to support on the same. That is provision of the FAD. Honorable Speaker, we have agreed that we shall not be able now to move as the government to bring on board the FAD, because now then it will bring more issues on the same. But, Honorable Speaker, I know at one point we will rise to the occasion and then go to a level of having a revolving FAD. A revolving FAD in a manner that the solid waste management is regularizing itself. That when we come to the Orokarao Municipal, protect me, Honorable Speaker, to member for Lechao Bodo, Honorable Speaker.
A member for Lechao Pondo looks harmless. At this point, kindly proceed. I protect you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We'll be expecting that the government will be provide this entity, or rather, on solid waste management. But I'm going further, Honorable Speaker, that at one point we'll be having a revolving FAD. A revolving FAD that is going to be regulating itself. If it comes to the municipal, for example, the municipalities that we have, like Orokarao Municipal or municipality, Honorable Speaker, there will be now that revolving FAD, it will be generally regulating itself, involving even the private sectors who are ready to manage the solid waste within that municipality. Honorable Speaker, I'm also in support of having this PPP, public-private partnership. At one point, Honorable Speaker, I know there will be the time that you'll be saying that where are the FAD? Where are the resources to manage this? For it to be, there must be having other private people coming on board in supporting the government of the day, that they are going to manage this solid waste in partnership, in collaboration with the government itself. And by so doing, the resources will be efficiently managed, Honorable Speaker. Also, the private sectors will be bringing on board the innovation, like the one that we are trying as much to do it at Idunyejeru. And I know, God willing, that at one point, we'll be able to do as such. The innovation of having the CBF, there is that, is it SBF? SBF, butterflies. They are very good, they are very nutritious, have a lot of proteins. They will be eating those wastes from the house food that are coming from the house food. And at the same time, Honorable Speaker, the plastic that you are getting out from the house food at the industries, recycling. That new innovation can only be gotten from those private stakeholders. So therefore, Honorable Speaker, because a member for the Lechao Pondo is saying as sitaongea mwaka, it is true that I won't, but I am in support of this. But I will urge the government, once we finish with this motion, because we are going to approve it, he should go now. It should go now further to bring on board the regulation, or rather the policy that should be approved by this Honorable House. Then we move on having a policy on the same, and then having the funding on the same, that will regularize the solid waste management within our county. And for that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support.
Thank you, Honorable Edinard. Honorable Gadongo, member for Lishopondo Ward, proceed. Followed by Honorable Gadirimu, immediately you finish.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker. And first and foremost is that I never got an opportunity to appreciate you for being admitted to the bar. As you are member of County Assembly, let me register my appreciation that yet again you have proved that indeed in the Shaupondo and Nyandarua at large, education remains our cash crop. Thank you. And Honorable Madam Speaker, I first and foremost want to support this motion from the onset. And Madam Speaker, there is an English saying which says, cleanliness is next to godliness, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, one favor or one responsibility that this Third Assembly of Nyandarua can do is to get rid of the menace of dump sites and the way we manage our waste, because the first county assembly or the inaugural county government was unable to do it. The second one was unable to do it. And Honorable Speaker, with the kind of brains we have in this house, I'm sure the third assembly will once and for all have a solution and to this issue of waste management. And I want to appreciate Honorable Milka Wanjiru, the member for Kirita Ward, the electorates, I hear them christening her smart brain, and actually in coming up with such a motion, we are in agreement. These are the brains that we need if we want to help this county. And Honorable Speaker, I want to say where we come from and where you come from yourself, and also Honorable Kate, who is in this house, myself, Honorable Joyce, is that one of the, we come from Irunya municipality, all of us, and Honorable Speaker, you know the kind of, as you head towards Back Street, the scenery which is there, Honorable Speaker, and we wish when this motion gets implemented to the letter, Honorable Speaker, this issue of waste management will have been solved. And Honorable Speaker, I want us to look at the waste that we generate from our localities. We not only look at it as a menace, but as a source of income generating project, Honorable Speaker. And when Honorable Kungu, the chair for budget, was making his contribution, he said that this is one of the issues which can even be used as a way of creating employment, Honorable Speaker, even without ballooning our wage bill, Honorable Speaker. We just need to allocate the money which is allocated for waste management. If well managed, it can be used. The executive, that is, they can even give contracts to people to be collecting that waste for us, and then make sure it is well managed. And Honorable Speaker, in this motion I would encourage, like what happens in Laikipia, that is Nyahururu town. We have a lot of waste in Nyahururu, even compared to what we have in Maironya municipality. And Honorable Speaker, they have got forest RAD from the national government. I don't see why it can't happen in Nyandarua, where RAD, maybe especially along Daragwa forest, can be reached. And if the Department of Water, Environment and Natural Resources, we get like 5 acres of land, take our waste there, and that waste, after a certain period of time, we reclaim that land by planting trees before we get an extra. And it can happen even in the other sub-counties. I'm talking so much about Daragwa sub-county on Mairunya municipality because that is where I come from. I can't tell, maybe from North Kinangop, which forest is near them and which can be reached for waste management. But it is a workable solution because it's working elsewhere where we can get land. When the waste is dumped there, it can be rehabilitated and we get an extra piece of land where we rehabilitate. And that way, we can, in a big way, be able to manage our waste in a way that even in future, we shall have a permanent solution. Because what we are having is temporary measures of waste management, which is not very healthy and which is not sustainable, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm in full support of this motion, and if it's implemented, I'm sure we shall have given this county a permanent solution to waste management for now and in future. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm in support.
Honorable Gathongo for taking us through practical solutions from where you sit or stand. Honorable Gathirimu, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the onset, I want to really congratulate Honorable Wajiro, Member for Greater, for coming up with such a good motion. Madam Speaker, this is a very rich motion. One, this motion has sought to address the blame game that has been on as an excuse, that has been used as an excuse as to why we have not been able as a county government to give the much needed services of garbage collection and waste management in this county. Madam Speaker, this motion gives how to do it. Because for long, it's like the county has been in a wilderness on the way to deal with the management of the waste in this county. And to demonstrate this, Honorable Speaker, is that when I was in my duty as a member of Forgeta, in my capacity to represent my ward, and I was going about departments to determine how garbage in the market centers can be collected. I've been referred to different departments. I've been to the Department of Trade. When I go there, there is no fuel. When I go to the Department of Health, they say, yes, we are responsible, but the amount of money that was awarded to us during the budget appropriation, we were given 1 million against a demand of 48 million. And you wonder what to tell the electorate whom you represent why the garbage has not been corrected. Because the electorate and the residents care less who does it and how it is done. They want it done. And Madam Speaker, what informed devolution is decentralization of power, resources, and services. And we cannot tax our people and we don't provide the services they need. And therefore, Madam Speaker, this motion is very rich in that it has exposed what Honorable Ambogo has said, and he has very leniently handling the government with the kids graph that it is reluctancy. It is not reluctancy, Madam Speaker. This is complete inefficiency, and somebody is sleeping on the job. Madam Speaker, like for example, this motion has brought to the notice that it is a requirement of every county government to prepare and submit to the county assembly for approval an integrated county waste management plan once every 5 years, and that neither the county legislation nor the plan on waste management above have been submitted to the county 2 years since the enactment of this act. Honorable Speaker, there is a requirement. There is somebody to do that and bring this requirement. Failure to that is failure to act and getting salaries that you cannot account, Honorable Speaker, because somebody is definitely on payroll to do this, and they have not done it. Therefore, this motion is very important because now it has brought to light why there is such a gap in the management of the waste and the collection of garbage in our market centers. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, one, we need to know why this has not been done, and it should be brought to the attention of the Committee on Health, so that they can bring those accountable to the house floor of the House, and maybe in the Committee of the General Oversight to explain. Because, Honorable Speaker, this is what will make so many people not to be re-elected, because they have not represented their wards properly. I don't want to be I don't want not to be re-elected. I want to be re-elected, Honorable Speaker. And therefore we must press this and push them to do what they are supposed to do, because we are doing our oversight job. Therefore, I really highly urge the honorable members to join together and pass these resolutions and follow them to their implementation, because all these recommendations, the 5 of them, with together with the amendment that has been passed, clearly tells us that we are able, if these resolutions are implemented, there will be no problem in management of garbage and waste management, waste, solid waste, liquid waste, all kind of waste we'll be able to manage, and especially the innovation of public-private partnership. Because, Honorable Speaker, we are struggling with employment, and including the private sector in the management of the waste is also creating employment, and the much needed so. And therefore, we need to follow it up and know, after passing this motion, what happens next. When will the waste and garbage be collected from Geta Market Center? When? We need to know it. When they don't do it, why? Because we already have a guidance from this particular motion. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, when we come up with such rich motions, I am sure our contribution to the solutions that we need, because oversight doesn't necessarily mean blaming and accusing. Oversight also means providing solutions. And through Honorable Wajiro, we have come up with a very viable solution, and also sustainable, Honorable Speaker. If you follow the resolutions, you'll see that this is something that should be, that is providing sustainability. And because garbage and waste is something that we have to deal with as long as we are living. And therefore, we just need to see how best we can do it, and how best we can give these services to the people who elected us to these positions. Every one of us elected has to account for the salaries that we are getting, so that we can also seem grateful to the people who have placed us in these positions. That is together with those who have been employed in the departments. And therefore, this push must continue, and we must hold them accountable. And where we have found them failing, we must call them out for what they are. And when they do it good, we also come up and commend them for that. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I support.
Thank you, Honorable Gathirimo. Honorable Kamwana.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I can now clearly confirm that the mic that I was supposed to use had a problem. but nevertheless, I've been able to move to the next mic so that I can be able to say something. Honorable Speaker, this House can attest that I'm one of the most affected member of this assembly due to the menace of the waste, I may say, whether in liquid form or in solid form. But Honorable Speaker, I want to say that one honorable member from Greater Wanjiru has been able to come again, and he has been able to put a lot of weight on what has been discussed in this assembly. Remembering, Honorable Speaker, that she moved an amendment from a report that had been tabled in this House and that had sought to see across that most of the issues to do with the waste management in this county are addressed. Honorable Speaker, as I support that whatever is thereof in this motion that is sought by honorable member, and of course from a lot of intelligence from expert, and of course from the secretariat. But Honorable Speaker, I want you to advise me what we can do, because in the amendments, Honorable Madam Wanjiru had brought amendments that had a timeline, and I stood and I supported, even I requested the Speaker to allow the timeline even to be reduced from 90 days to 60 days. I now don't see the timelines in the motion, and it is very important that we had those timelines. As the chairman for the strongest committee in this assembly, the committee that when you come here and dance to the tune of making laws, I should come and follow and see that the implementation is done. I don't know whether you can allow me to introduce, even at the tail end, an amendment so that we can quickly put the timelines when now the departments concerned can be able to look into this matter, Honorable Speaker.
I will give directions after we are through with this, passing this motion. Honorable Kamwana, I think Honorable Ibrahim, you wish to contribute. All right, before you do that, you're mandated to carry on. These are statutory directions that mandate you to carry on with business. So I think you just proceed with the timelines. Or what was your request? I didn't get you clearly.
Speaker, yes, indeed, we have standing orders, and that have been developed in the Committee of Implementation, where it clearly spirits that anything that is passed in this assembly should be followed within 60 days. But because this matter is very important, that is why I wanted at least we can have members even who can suggest even fewer days than what is spirited in the standing orders, so that I can be able to follow on this matter. But however, Honorable Speaker, if the Assembly feels that we can work within 60 days, because I see this matter being very urgent, Honorable Wanjiru, but of course, because we have been advised by our Honorable Speaker, we can go by the spirited time of 60 days, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Honorable Ibrahim.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I like to support the recommendations. You say this has emanated from a previous motion in this assembly. The issue of solid waste management in this county is not functional. So, with these recommendations having been implemented, we are able to clean our county and also green our county. Because with proper management policies, we won't be talking about issues of waste lying all over the county. And with the already recommendations given, we are able now to handle this issue of this problem of solid waste. And for that, I call the mover.
All right, thank you. The mover, Honorable Wanjiru.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for granting us this opportunity and also guiding this assembly very well since we started till this moment. And Madam Speaker, I also want to thank my colleague members who have been very, very passionate about this issue of solid waste management, liquid waste management, and any kind of waste management. Each one of us suffers silently in our own way. If you listen to what members were saying from Rungaro, from Kinangop, Maidonia municipality is actually a mess as we speak because garbage has not been collected. I do not have powers to collect that garbage. There is a department that is in charge of collection of that garbage, but they will keep on saying, we don't have fuel, we don't have trucks, there are things that have happened. So each member, including my seconder, is having a problem, and not only here. We thought Honorable Edna Wambugu Kingori had sorted the problem when he got a piece of land in the middle of town and fenced it. 2 years down the line, it has not been collected, so the land is filled up. He's wondering, where do I take the garbage? Whether he will buy the next plot in town. Anyway, it's an issue that is happening. In my area personally, it's not even a quarter of a plot. It's not even a third of a plot. It's a small section where all the garbage for Maidonia municipality gets there. So it's an issue, and it's a serious issue that needs a concerted effort by everyone. And of late, by the way, in Nyandarua County and in Kenya, it has become a political tool. Everybody standing, posting pictures at the garbage saying, your honorable members, it is not working. Yet, the person to handle the waste management and the garbage is clearly, as we speak, under the Department of Health. They are the ones who are supposed to collect, but again, they oversight themselves. This is a confusion we are killing, and we want to finish with this motion. Madam Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Kongo for the amendment. We had a discussion on the amendment of establishing a fund, but we also agreed, and the chair, Honorable Zachary, for the appropriations and planning, we sat and agreed that yes, a fund might be expensive, but we need to provide sufficient fund and be consolidated in one department so that we will clearly know you are given, for example, 20 million. How have you been utilizing the 20 million? As we speak, that money is segregated. So even that amendment, which is very acceptable, then we must, as a budget committee and finance committee, agree on modalities of putting that money under one budget line, so that it will be clearly stated that this money is for this particular issue, so that it doesn't go to other issues. And with that, the issue of blaming the departments will come to an end. On Honorable Kingori Ednard, on the PPP issue, very critical. He's trying something. You know, he has suffered really. He thought he had solved the problem, but now he has half-acre piece of land well fenced, but full of garbage. He's working with a partner. I hope that partnership will work well. If it does, then it will be an example to all of us that this can happen. But again, there is a challenge. As a honorable member, there's no policy that guides that partnership. So he has been thinking about it for a whole year, waiting for the policy to come to this assembly. So he's stuck even. He can't move because under which policy is he implementing the partnership? That is why we are saying, and I want to agree with Honorable Kamwana, that policy needs to come very fast in this assembly so that we can pass the policy and then allow Honorable Kingori to do that pilot project so that even those of us who are also suffering can be able to follow suit and get one partner who will help us in this country solve the problem. Because we had discussion, and that partner was saying, if it works in Kinangop, we will not even have to get another partner. He will come collect all the garbage in the county, and he will make money out of that. So we are requesting that the executive does that. Within 60 days, bring all the required policies so that we can be able to move forward. On issue of Honorable Gathirimo, it is not about extra money that is being allocated. Money has been allocated but segregated. And I want to thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, for your very passionate appeal that we need funds to help us solve this problem. And as a honorable member, I am not the implementer. I can only shout on top of my voice. I can only sit in Mairenya, stand in Mairenya town and say, please come and collect this garbage. But when they have enough fund, then we will be able to sort out this problem once and for all, and if it is stated in one department. And finally, Madam Speaker, on the issue of Honorable Gathongo, who has been very passionate also about it, and his is about the land issue. And that is why we said buying land is not enough, because we have an example here in Kinangop. Land was bought, it is filled up. Buying land is not enough. It's getting land and also getting sustainable waste management plan and policies so that then land will be there, but also we are able to recycle and also manage that waste, probably to get to get more money or to create employment for the people. But I want to urge the governor, it's a humble request that he does a communication to the department, to the Ministry of Forest, that we need land that can be used as garbage fields for this country, for this county. I have a forest that borders me there in Kereita. It's called Kereita Forest. I have the Ragwa Forest, and all these members have forest around them. Why can't we get that land and use it as a landfill as we prepare to get into partnership and rehabilitate that waste? It can be sorted. We've been given an example of Laikipia. They have sorted it out, so it is possible that we sort it out. So we are requesting the governor, if he wants our support, we can go to the ministry, to the forest department, and request that we get land in every sub-county, which can be used as a landfill. But we also, meanwhile, pronounced, for example, I've pronounced myself, that if there's somebody who is selling land along the forest, we are ready as a county government to buy, and the governor has committed to that. So we are requesting our people, if there are those who have land that is next to the forest, they can come forward, present that, and then it can be used. And finally, we are solving a problem of blame game, Honorable Gathirimo. And in our normal culture and Kikuyu language, remember there were two persons who are called Kengedo and Kenguru. And they kept on blaming each other where the child is. And if I quote is Kengedo Mwana Eriko, they were questioning where the child is. This Kengedo says it's not me. Kenguru says it's not me. So the issue of garbage collections has been a blame game. Who does what? By this motion. And if they implement this motion to the letter, there will be clear explicit and direction that the waste management belongs to this department. For example, Department of Water. So any blame or any complaints should be taken to the Department of Water. And then if they are not implementing, it will be very clear that we will go to the Department of Public Health, who is an oversight and tell them, hey, water is not working. Can you oversight? So it will be very clear, and this issue of blame game will have gone completely. Finally, Honorable Kamwana has left the implementation committee. We have passed many motions in this assembly, but very few are being implemented. How I urge the committee on implementation to follow to the letter the motions that we pass in this assembly, so that they can be implemented and such issues of garbage and waste management can be sorted once and for all. And as we speak, there are photos of Maironya garbage circulating all over on social media. But I have told them, can you follow the debate in the assembly and see what we are doing? And clearly you will see, we are not here to blame. We are here to seek solutions on an issue that the first government was not able to solve, 2012 to 2017. 2017 to 2022, that government did not also solve the problem. We are here, government of 2022 to 2027. We are trying to solve that problem. And this is why we are requesting the executive to implement whatever is it that we are talking, so that the issue of garbage can be dealt with once and for all. How I wish that all of us, all stakeholders, can work together towards the issue of the garbage menace. And with those very many remarks, I move. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Wanjiro, for that great motion. I now put the question, which is that, pursuant to Section 46 of the County Government Act 2012, the County Executive Committee, under the stewardship of His Excellency the Governor, does reorganize the structure of government to cure any existing perceived or potential interdepartmental confusion, conflict or contradiction in the function of the management of waste, including public cemeteries, waste disposal sites, waste treatment sites, and public toilets, outlining which departments should deal with solid waste management, liquid waste management, cemeteries, waste disposal sites, waste treatment sites, public toilets, waste management in municipalities, waste management in trading centers, and markets outside the municipalities across the county, and outlining the extent of the mandates in each of the functions. 2, separate implementation from oversight in favor of sharing of power, good governance, and sustainable development under our national values and principles of governance enshrined in Article 10 2A, C, and D in the Constitution of Kenya 2010 in all matters pertaining to waste management. 3, that the County Executive Committee does, pursuant to Section 11 and 18 of the Sustainable Waste Management Act, number 31 of 2022, align the draft waste management policy to the Act, formulate the necessary legislative proposals as required under the Act, and submit an integrated county waste management plan in the County Assembly for approval. And number 4, as amended, that the County Executive Committee, through the County Executive Committee Member for Finance, Economic Planning, does, pursuant to Section 24 of the Sustainable Waste Management Act, number 31 of 2022, appropriate sufficient funds to functionalize solid waste management and possibly devise such other ways of doing the same to liquid waste management. And number 5, that while formulating the policy and legislative proposals mentioned above, the County Executive Committee does consider inclusion of public-private partnerships in sustainable waste management. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Clerk, next order.
Madam Speaker, the business as appearing on the main order paper has been exhausted.
On that note, kindly hold on. On that note, I have a communication to make. This is a communication on transaction of interrupted business. Honorable members, you recall that today, Tuesday, the 3rd December 2024, at the 9 a.m. sitting, the business of that sitting was interrupted by a quorum H. Since there was a motion that was on debate, I direct that the same be concluded via supplementary order paper. Thank you, members. Clerk, next order.
As per your direction, Madam Speaker, we proceed to the supplementary order paper. Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
There is no communication from my desk.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements.
On the statement, we have one statement by Honorable Joyce Wanjiru Mwanywa, the county member from Daragwa Central Ward. Kindly proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Maybe for the benefit of those who may not be knowing, today is International Day of Persons with Disability. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for granting me this opportunity to address this County Assembly regarding the Day of International Persons with Disability that is being celebrated today, the 3rd of December. The annual observance of the International Day of Persons with Disability on that December was proclaimed in 1992 by the United Nations Assembly Resolution 47/3. Madam Speaker, the theme this year is amplifying the leadership of persons with disability for an inclusive and sustainable future. This underscores the importance of empowering individuals with disability to take the lead in shaping their own destinies and contributing to society. This theme recognizes the important role that persons with disability play in creating a more inclusive and sustainable world for all. It also emphasizes the importance of participation of persons with disability in decision making that affects their lives. Madam Speaker, the national event was actually being held today at Bungoma County.
A minority leader and Honorable Wambugu, kindly consult in notes once.
And the Nyandarua County event, we held it today at Olkarau, where we had over 300 persons with disability from all the 25 wards of Nyandarua County who attended. As a county, we have achieved some milestone on matters disability inclusion. And one of the milestone, if I may say, is having a member of the county assembly with disability, that is myself, who have clearly been articulating matters, disability in registration, representation, and oversight. And the theme for today could not be any clearer of the impact this can have. And as a disability fraternity, we only were left to wonder if we had people in decision making with disability, what we would have done. Madam Speaker, last week we celebrated 20 years of disability inclusion and diversity since when the National Council of Persons with Disability was established through the Disability Act of 2003, which was assented to by the 3rd President of Kenya, the late Moi Kibaki, who was sworn in a wheelchair. And as the disability fraternity, we have achieved a lot through this. Madam Speaker, when I was thinking about this theme, I was particularly wondering if I'm the Speaker of this county assembly, and the podium that currently is there is not inclusive. And I'm sure that if we have persons with disability in some of these leadership positions, we'll be able to make the necessary inclusion adjustment. Another achievement, a few of the boards of the committees of the county have persons with disability, like the JM Hospital, the Maidonia Municipality, and the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, and the recently established Nyandarua County Alcoholic Drinks Management Committee. Madam Speaker, as we map out our way forward, the persons with disability, there is a priority agendas For those who are aware, in the committee, we have the Nyandarua County Persons with Disability Bill 2023 that is currently at the committee stage. That's the Committee of Education. And I'm hopeful that we'll fast track this for the great benefit of persons with disability. We also want more resource allocation on all disability-specific interventions, including education, economic empowerment, provision of assistive and mobility devices. We also require more job opportunities in the Nyandarua County government from the current less than 7% to what is provided by the Constitution of 5% for the economic empowerment. At the AGPO, there is need to ring-fence the proportion of the 30% that must and should be allocated to persons with disability, and deliberate efforts made towards achieving this. We realize the county is doing well in the 30% AGPO, but then when it comes to the categorization, persons with disability are basically even 1.5%. The other thing is resource allocation in the assessment and registration of persons with disability, and we require this to be devolved to all the sub-county hospitals, including registration at the 25 wards. Data is very critical because it actually assists in the planning. And the other one is the disability mainstreaming programs and inclusive development discussion by all the leaders. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I've already said it's not them and us. Persons with disability are our fathers, mothers, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, friends, neighbors, relatives, and for us, they are the voters. And we cannot ignore their contribution to the economic growth of the county, and hence there is a great need to ensure they are included in all leadership spaces for an inclusive society. Disability agenda is our agenda as Nyandarua County. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Joyce. That's a very good statement on the United Nations Day for Persons Living with Disability. And it is true, inclusion is not a discussion we need to have. We should be acting on it and treating them like us. There is no them, it is only us. Honorable Edinard.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I like to support my sister, Honorable Joyce. Actually, Honorable Speaker is among the active members in this assembly, showing that disability is not inability. And in a contemporary perspective, is that she has become one of the voice of the people with disability in this county and generally in this country. And for that, Honorable Speaker, allow me to support her together with his cadre, those people with disability, and say that we are in the same movement, and we shall support her. Honorable Speaker, we shall support all the issues related to the people with disability in this county, where this assembly is supposed to chip in. We'll be able to do a search, remembering that, Honorable Speaker, there are some milestones that have been achieved on the same. And Honorable Speaker, is that one of them is that issues pertaining to the legislative milestones. This assembly has been bestowed power by the Constitution and other related law to legislate. And we should come in handy in support of the legislative matters related to people with disability. And as they celebrate this year, we shall join hands in relation to that and be in support of the same. Honorable Speaker, I like the way Madam Honorable Joyce present herself in this assembly, literally, Honorable Speaker, it shows that Honorable Joyce can go far. She has brought many motions in relation to the people with disability, and actually, Honorable Speaker, we should support her. We should support that agenda of PWDs. Thank you. In a very, very special way, we should support her. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Edinat. Honorable Wanjiru.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I want to appreciate Honorable Joyce Munywa for she has been very, very passionate about her docket, about her work in this assembly, and I'm very much proud of her. I am a product of affirmative action. Were it not for my nomination, were it not for my vocal to speak against discrimination, probably I will not be in this assembly today. Because it's out of my voice for the gender issue that a list was brought to this assembly last regime, and it didn't meet the 2/3 gender rule. And we raised that issue. It was taken back to the assembly. It had all men. So when I came back to the assembly, it came with my name. So I want to encourage Honorable Joyce to continue pushing the agenda. It is not in vain, and I know you are very, very passionate about it, and I'm so, so much proud that you are doing that. You will achieve your goals, and we are here to support you. Because affirmative action is working in this country, but it cannot work without people pushing it, people promoting it, and activism on the affirmative action. So we wish you well. We will support you. I know you're working on a motion or a bill that should come to this assembly. I am waiting for it, and I told you I'll be your seconder. I'll give you all the inputs that you want so that we can achieve whatever is it that we want under affirmative action. I also want to thank you because in my ward, you have been very, very active. Any issue of person living with a disability, Honorable Speaker, anytime I mentioned it to Joyce, within a week or two, she calls me back with a solution. We have given wheelchairs together. We have given tricycle together. We have helped in issues of bursary to support the children living with disability. As you are aware, in my ward, we have 2 schools. That is Kimaru Special and Kwanjora. And the first person to give me a list of people who would need support is Honorable Joyce Munywa, and she has also gone through the chiefs, gotten all the letters to support her request, and therefore I know is a member who is doing so well. Continue, Madam Joyce. We will support you, and I'm sure we will achieve it. We are not yet there, but we will achieve it. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Honorable Gathirimo. Want to contribute?
Yes, yes.
Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This cannot go unnoticed. It's a very important day. And I want to thank Honorable Joyce for the good reminder. Because, Honorable Speaker, every one of us, as long as we are living, we are potential candidates to disability. Some of us have had disability at birth, and some others have had disability as they age, either because of accident, either because of some ailments, and every one of us is a potential candidate. And the fact that we have had Honorable Joyce in this house, she has been a very great instrument in amplifying the need for inclusivity, the need to remove the stigma, the need to bring equality, or even to provide for them in their unique needs. And especially I want to thank Honorable Joyce because she had, even without a policy, she had been advocating for consideration of bursary for the children with disability, students with disability, bursary to be increased. And Rita, she came up with a motion with contribution to the policy of distributing the bursary fund. And we are proud that this assembly is a supporter of the policies that advocate for inclusion and even for assistance to people living with disability. Because today, we are proud that persons with disability can afford to get up to 15,000 shillings bursary assistance. And this is due to the contribution of Honorable Joyce and members of this county assembly. Something that has been over her appeal for long, and it has not been fully implemented, is the infrastructure to afford accessibility for the persons with disability to the public facility, either to hospitals, either to schools, either to administration facilities, Huduma centers, and others. And this has not taken place. And I would urge the county government, as it considers this day, as we celebrate this day of persons with disability, consider going down to the dispensary and making sure that these facilities are accessible. The washrooms, the offices, so that we can seem to care that these people are members of our society, and it is not expensive to provide for them so that they can access those facilities. If we think it is expensive, try having those disabilities, and you see that you need to be catered for. It is easy, it is affordable, it is doable. We should go ahead and, as we celebrate this day, remind ourselves that we have a duty to make sure that we consider their needs and consider them as urgent as it is possible. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
So clerk, next order.
Order number 8, motions and bills. Madam Speaker, we have a motion to be moved by Honorable John Dwagashino, Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development.
All right, Honorable John Dwagashino, and since I cannot spot him in the house, Representative Honorable Ibrahim Maina, can you proceed?
Honorable Madam Speaker, this is information to the House. This is a continuation of debate which was continuing in the morning session. However, considering some observation that were given out by members concerning our due dates of the recommendations, I would beg to move a motion that the report be amended under recommendations 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8, and 9 to delete the ones by not later than that December 2024 and replace with the ones within 14 days. Within 14 days, Madam Speaker. And I call Honorable Joyce to second.
Honorable Joyce, kindly second.
Madam Speaker, I second.
All right, that is well noted. I propose the question that this report be amended under recommendations 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9 to delete the words by not later than 3rd December 2024 and replace with the words within 14 days. Thank you. Debates? Yes, Honorable Gathirimu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Today, I think I'm lucky to debate because I've not had opportunities to do so. But Honorable Speaker, that is quite in order, and I support the amendments because we must seem to be logical, even as we pass motions, so that we can seem to get solutions, because we can only get a report back and you can get implementation if we give logical dates, logical recommendations, so that we can achieve our goal. Otherwise, with the previous, without this amendment, the motion would actually look a bit more awkward. But now it is quite in order, and I second. I second. I support, Madam Speaker. I call the mover to respond on that.
Honorable Madam Speaker, we appreciate the observation. Also, we have noted, we moved this motion, we gave this notice a week ago, and with the recommendation that there were